When Steinway asked me if I was interested in creating a grand piano to honor their 125th anniversary, I said to them, "I'm terribly sorry, but I think I'm much too old for a new design project." Then you sent me a set of drawings, and I thought to myself, well, the very least I can do is have a look. But I wasn't sure if I would actually do anything. I wasn't sure at all. Now, because I don't make sketches, I started to prepare some little models made of foam. When you're dealing with three-dimensional products like grand pianos, you have to think in 3 dimensions. That's why I started with the foam models. Then you came to visit me in Trunkensen, where you saw 4 or 5 of these models, and you said that one of them might be suitable, and I should just carry on.
Bei diesem einen, da gibt es Möglichkeiten. Machen Sie mal weiter. Dann sind wir von 1 zu 10.
The next step was to go from a scale of 1 to 10 to 1 to 5, and then on from there. You know, I have a very good relationship with Steinway and Sons. I once wrote a book called "You've Got to Be Lucky," and here again I was very lucky.
Very lucky für mich, und ich habe keine Ahnung von Flügeln und so weiter.
I don't know anything about pianos, but for me music is movement, and not something dead, just sitting there. No, there is always movement in music. So it was my idea, and I'm very happy it worked so well, to combine highly polished and matte surfaces.
Matt und glänzend. Die beiden, wie sagt man, Farbstellungen gegenüber getroffen habe. Und wie dann Herr Böckenholt den ersten...
And when Mr. Böckenholt showed me the first prototype, I said, yes, now there's movement in the piano.
Jetzt ist Bewegung drin. Das ist meine ganze...
My designs have always been based on the philosophy to leave out everything that isn't necessary. So if you were now to leave something in this grand off, there would be nothing left. You really need every single part of it.
How did you come to design for BMW?
My whole life is based on coincidence. There was an automobile show in the Colosseum in New York, and I knew most of the people there.
Ich kannte die meisten Leute da, die ausstellten. Unter anderem war da...
One of them was Max Hoffmann, the importer of literally almost all European cars in the United States. And he said to me, you know, BMW's here, and they're exhibiting the current limousine they want to sell.
Die jetzige Limousine wollen die hier verkaufen. Und auch...
And they have pictures of a sports car that I couldn't even give away.
Den könnte ich nicht verschenken. Seien Sie doch so nett.
Why don't you do some sketches and send them to BMW?
Und die schicken sie an BMW. Dann habe ich gesagt, ja, an wen?
So I asked him who I should send them to. And he said, oh, this is all top secret. No one's allowed to know about it. Just send them to the board of BMW. Well, about 10 or 12 days later, I suddenly got a telegram from BMW asking when I could come to Munich. At that time, I had some rather strange friends in New York, and I thought, this is really not a very funny joke.
Oh, das ist wahrscheinlich ein Jahr her.
Then, about a year ago, at a dinner, I was introduced to Dr. Panke, the current head of BMW. And he told me, and this is something I'll never forget, what you did for BMW, we can never repay. Dr. Panke was only 6 years old when I designed that car.
6 Jahre alt. Das erfolgreichste Design.
My most successful design was for Datsun, the 240Z.
Und in Japan, zu der Zeit, wie ich bei Datsun war,
at that time in Japan, everyone wore kimonos in public. They weren't influenced by the West at all.
Waren nicht beeinflusst vom Westen.
Again, I was very lucky, because I was the first Westerner to come to Japan and visit companies and say to them that I wanted to design something for them.
Zu sagen, ich werde ganz gern mal was für euch entwickeln.
It was quite easy to make contact with Japanese companies. They were curious to know what I could offer or where my talents lay.
Ich meine, wenn man denkt, der Honda, Soichi, ne? Ja.
Just imagine. Mr. Honda, Suichi himself, showed me the factory.
And with
Mr. Toyoda, I drank green tea.
When you look back on your long career with the BMW 507 as your most phenomenal design, and the Datsun as the most successful one, which was the most difficult?
The most difficult design, which a lot of companies have asked me to do by now, is, I think, a fountain pen. You have to prepare drawings 10 times larger than the original. And then 3 or 4 models are selected for testing.
In Frage kommen zur Produktion und dann wird's Licht ausgemacht.
And then they switch off the light, and you feel them with your fingers and say, yes, no. The touch is very important.
Wie sagt man, der Touch von den Fingern, der das Wichtigste ist.
Create another fountain pen? No, thank you. I'd sooner do half a dozen cars.
Or another grand piano.
Der Flügel für mich.
This grand piano is a very important part of my life, because it represents the end of my career, the final point.
Der Schlusspunkt.
I haven't seen it for 3 months, and when I look at it now, I must say you really can't leave anything off. I mean, you could leave off the feet, but without feet it wouldn't work. To tell you the truth, I'm happy with the result, quite frankly. What I took from the BMW 507 is the handwriting. It's my handwriting.
Typically Gertz.